I feel like 2026 is going to be the year that we've all been waiting for, because I really believe that one of the things that we all needed to do was really educate people on the value of coaching. And I feel like we've just gone so far, especially this year, in people understanding. It's my mission has been that I want girlfriends to be sitting at dinner talking about their coaches with each other. I want to help people market in that way, so that at some point that's the way the conversation goes, that a doctor, a physician is referring a coach to somebody, that it's just that known. And I really feel like we've made so much progress this year. So I want to encourage you guys. The progress is made by you guys showing and talking about the value that you bring as coaches. It really is. It's not just what I can do. I'm just teaching you how to do the marketing. So please, at the forefront of your mind, just think about the impact that you can make in starting today. We don't have to wait till January 1st. Starting today, the impact that you can make from the coaching that you do. But my belief is you don't one person doesn't get changed by coaching. Everybody that they interact gets changed by coaching. That's why I'm so passionate about it. The trickle down effect. You can't change who you are and your identity and not influence everyone around you. So it's a beautiful opportunity for expansions. I do have, per usual, I do have a worksheet for you. I'll give to you at the end. It has to do with application of the word of the year, what's coming up for you. This is, I think, at least the 10th year that I've been doing this, at least the 10th year. So we're just going to pick one word that will guide everything in 2026. This is not a word of the year for your business. This is a word of the year for your life. This all started with this book. You guys don't need to go buy this book, because I'm going to tell you about this book in this one session. But I was introduced to this book and literally sat down less than an hour and read it. And it was like, wow, okay, I understand word of the year so much different than what other people had talked about. And I'll tell you, I had fun once we get to the end where I share a list of words. I had fun this week. I actually decided, instead of taking other people's lists that you could find online, I decided to make us a list of all the words that I could come up with. My word of the year list is different than what other people's are, but maybe you already have one in mind. I really believe that you can transform your life with one word, and it's so much easier to stay committed to one word. I think it will simplify everything that you're doing in your life. I think that there is some complexity that goes with having so many goals. Now, look, I'm a goal setter and I'm a goal achiever. I'm an action taker, but it is simpler to focus on one thing. So I'm not saying don't have goals as well, but for sure, simplicity sometimes leads you to more clarity and for sure to more success when you're trying to figure out what's going to come next. When you think about one word, maybe we're all guilty of the resolutions not working. I don't know, maybe your resolutions worked for you, but sometimes some of mine don't. And we all hear the same thing, that especially for those of you that are in the weight loss, health space. Yeah, resolutions. The problem is a lot of times we make really big, powerful resolutions and we don't stick to them. I think choosing really intentionally, and I don't want you to necessarily choose a word today. I have been pondering a word for 2 weeks. I really take this process seriously because I really pay attention to the one word. I want you to take it seriously as well. So the one word that you're going to discover, which is meant for you, right? You're just going to pick that word, and it's going to be a word that won't take any willpower. You won't have to convince yourself to stay aligned with it. You won't have to push or force. When you pick the one word, it will just work in your life. Okay. Just focusing on that one thing. I really believe you guys will. I wish we could meet at the end. In fact, next year when I do this, bring your one word back. And then I want to hear how the year unfolded for you with your one word. That would be super fun to do. The one word that we are talking about, we're talking about it really influencing all areas of your life. Now, we could have more areas than this. I was just on a coaching call for myself, and I was talking about this one word workshop, and I was telling them to make sure you picked a word that would be, you could use to influence your physical, whether you're wanting to improve your health, your body, your fitness, relationships, emotionally, what do you need? I had down as of yesterday the word financial goals, and I decided to change it to wealth, because wealth sounds better, doesn't it? And then spirituality or spiritual connection from you, whatever it's going to be for you. But there certainly is more areas of your life that could be impacted than this. I want to give you one of my words that I had, and I'm only going to talk about it when it came to business. I already told you I use one word to influence 5 areas of our life. You can make as a big of a list as you want to, but this one word, possible, was one of my favorite words. And it was 2 years ago that I had this word. When I thought about that word, one of the things that I'm going to ask you today is, how does it make you feel? And the word, it's possible. Oh my goodness, it literally gives me butterflies. I feel excitement in my stomach when I think about what is possible. And that's why that word was so powerful to me. As we think about choosing a word, that's where you want to sit with it and just see, how does this word feel with me? What emotion does it evoke in me? I loved thinking that anything was possible. Anything was possible with the one word. I love to believe that it was possible that I could learn to love social media. And I actually do kind of love social media. This is a couple, 3 years ago. It's possible that new clients would be coming into my business consistently, no matter what I did. I loved that thought. It was possible that I could exceed my goals. And honestly, I did. I tell you what, I had that word everywhere. And it was a constant thought loop that I was reminding myself every time I went to that place about anything. Any part of my life, I would say, wait, it's possible though that. So you want to think about why would you pick that word? For me, I wanted to grow personally and professionally, not just professionally, but personally and professionally. Think about what the driving factor behind your word is. You might have a word in mind, but what I want to suggest is that we just hold on. We hold on and we think about, oh, you guys are getting words. Yeah, wealthy. That sounds like you. I love it. And then I want to see how we can connect at a deeper level to this word. And I just did an exercise right before I got on this call that I'm going to tell you guys about that will take your whole word of the year to a new level. Allow the time for the word to come to you, and you might get some ideas today. If people are willing to share what they're thinking about, you actually might have some ideas that you'll find that will be very interesting for you. Every word is going to mean something different to each one of us. I had a word that was restraint. And I remember when I told Thais, and Thais was like, restraint? That sounds horrible. Restraint. But I wanted to practice restraint in my thinking. I wanted to practice restraint in all the things that I was doing. There was a way that I was thinking about that word where some people might think that was a negative word. As we share the words today, just make sure that you approach the word with curiosity, right? You look at somebody else's word and think, that's interesting. What would come from that word? So curiosity, not judgment. That's what we do as coaches, right? We think about things from a curious place. Get started, get a pen. I do have that worksheet for you. The worksheet is more about application, not so much about picking your word. And I do have a list of words at the end that we definitely can talk about. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk you through 3 different parts of your life. And I'm going to ask you 3 different questions that will help you flesh out what word you want to pick and why you would pick that word. The first part is for us to identify what is it that we actually need. We're thinking about all of 2026. What do we need? The first part is business, right? I can't help but do business first. We're going to do the other areas, but business. What is it that you really need? For all of us here, we're probably going to say coaching clients. Most of you guys are going to say, I need more courage on social media or in marketing in general, right? Sending more emails. Maybe you need skills, recognition. That's the whole reason why I do the Design Live Thrive Summit, so that I can help the coaches get recognized as the experts that they actually are. That might be on the list of things that you need. Support from loved ones. I always say we are like doing this thing alone almost. That's why it's so good to have community. We feel like we're so alone in it. And I talk about not sharing your dreams with just everyone, because not everyone understands what is actually possible for you. And for the people that are not either understanding what coaching is or not understanding an online business, Sometimes their expectations of what you should do are far too high. Get a client every day. It seems so easy. And sometimes they just think you're crazy. So you might need that. And then, of course, money. Jot down whatever comes for you. What do you need in your business right now? All right. What do you need in relationships? What do you need? More time with the ones that you love, trust, compassion, closure, fun, understanding. Maybe we should continue with that list, like support, help, right? Contribution. I don't know what all there would be on there, but you probably can come up with 2 or 3 things like immediately that it would be nice. And I'm not talking about a spouse or a partner. I'm talking about in any kind of relationships. What do I need more of from my daughter? What do I need more of from my own coach? What do I need more of? Great for you to identify those. The third question, we're still in the need section. What do you need more of from yourself? Within yourself, do you need to feel more confident? Maybe it's more comfortable. Maybe you need to be more decisive. If y'all have not been around for very long, I typically do a workshop in January about the fastest way to grow your business. And it's an entire workshop about making decisions. I promise you, the fastest way you can grow your business is to decide and do. It really is that simple. The only way that we know if any decision that you've made or anything that you do works is by you doing it. Maybe you need to be more decisive. Maybe you need more discipline. Maybe you need to keep your word to yourself. Maybe you need more belief in what's possible, willingness to try new things, capacity. I added that on yesterday because I was like, there is a capacity. I know y'all can't believe this because you want to make millions, but there's a capacity to holding more. There's a capacity to working with more clients. And you could reach an upper limit that will basically block your capacity to have more. Maybe you need more capacity. You want more, but you got to allow yourself to have more. The second part we want to do is identify what is in the way of what is happening for you. I'm going to go through those same 3 questions. Sometimes we have roadblocks that we can't see. And so I think it's good to be honest with yourself. What I hear often from coaches is the roadblocks are like this. It's fingers pointing out at other people. What is it that's getting in your way? It could be back to that thing where it's like, we're not getting support from our partner, our husband. Those kind of things might be what the problem is. Whatever it is, you just want to be honest with yourself. If you are blaming somebody else, then like this thing that I was just saying, like the finger that's pointing out there, it needs to turn back this way. This is a great opportunity for you to take responsibility. What are you blaming? Who are you blaming? Let's be honest for a moment. Let's really look at what's going on and be honest with ourselves. Is it your kids? Is it your spouse? Is it that you don't have enough time? Is it that everybody interrupts you? Whatever those things are, when you know what they are, you can make a better plan. We've got time till the end of the year to get these things cleaned up. The first question is, what is in the way right now of you and your business? Some of you guys work full time. And the thing is, your business is not in the way of your full-time job, and your full-time job is not in the way of your business. What needs to happen is you need to know how much time you have to work on your business, and then you build your business in that amount of time. If you have 4 hours a week to work on your business, that's the time. That's a reframe I'm helping you with. Your full-time work is not in the way of your business. Fear could be saying you're not ready, thinking you should get another certification, thinking you need more practice. Imposter syndrome might be in the way. Saying you're terrible at tech. I hate social media, right? I'm not clear about what my goals should be. I'm not clear if my niche is good. Indecisiveness. I just mentioned that. All of those things, or any one of those things, literally could keep you from having what it is you want in 2026. I would definitely spend some time, screenshot this, think about what you are saying is in your way, and let's get that cleared up. Within relationships, maybe it's not enough time together. Maybe it's that you don't agree on important topics, right? Maybe it's that your partner is not as helpful as you want him to be. Maybe it's that you're tired of unloading the dishwasher. Maybe it's that you don't feel supported. I don't know what it is for you in your relationship. And again, if you don't have a spouse, then be thinking about the other relationships that we have. What are the relationships that feel out of alignment for you? Maybe you have some shame over doing some things or not doing some things that you said that you would do. We got to clean up to clear out to get where we want to go. And then I got to have the lack of belief in there again. And for a lot of us who are coaches, there still is that thing where our partners are questioning what we're doing. And I'm not saying that's for everyone. And I don't want that to be true for you. I'm just saying, just if that's what's going on, then pay attention to it. And then you get to ask yourself, if my partner or my kids or whoever it is thinks I'm nuts with this crazy dream that I have, what do you have to do to show them that you're not? I want to challenge you to do that, because let me tell you what, when you have a successful business, nobody questions you. I can tell you that. They then think it's a great idea. So maybe that's the goal. Like, I'm going to show them anyway. The third question is back to within yourself. What is in the way right now? For me, that second one, being overly tired, burned out, overwhelmed, tired. That is something I worked on in the last couple of years, is getting more sleep, getting more sound sleep, going to bed with less on my mind. There is no gold star for working till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I used to think there was, and I never got one. You don't need to be overly tired all the time. And I know we're all tired, right? We are. We all have too much to do, but that could be getting in the way of your success. Maybe feeling uncertain, perfectionism. If you're in my coaching world, I talk about B- work all the time, a concept that I learned from the life coach school. Basically, just get it done, right? If you're waiting to get it perfect, you're never going to do what you need to do. And the only person that's judging what you're doing probably is you. The only judgment is you. You got to quiet your own judgment down. And again, imposter syndrome is, I hear this, you guys, from almost every person that I talk to that's a coach at some point, either on a consultation call or at somewhere during our coaching relationships. If you feel that, you are not alone in that. It's just a thought that's going to show up that you get to say, hey, excuse me, but that's not true. I know what I'm doing. In action. If you're not taking an action, that could definitely be a problem as well. I know I'm moving fast. Let's identify what needs to go. Within you, there's some things that we need to let go of. This is a very personal story that doesn't have any pain to it now, but it did. It did. I had harbored some shame over business debt. I was sure my husband was going to kill me. I went on and on, run to the mailbox and get the credit card and blah, blah, blah. The story that I told myself over this thing, this was years ago, was unbelievable. The amount of shame that I had created around it. And I want to tell you, it was literally keeping me from reaching my goals because I had so much shame around it. And when I finally decided at one courageous moment to tell him, he was like, okay. And like, I have some credit card bills that and he's okay, you're in business. And I'm like, yeah. It was so funny, the response. Sometimes the things that we build up, you can either go to the bank and get a line of credit for your business, or you can use your credit card. You used your credit card. And I was like, oh my word. I had built up all this nonsense in my mind about using credit card and not being able to pay it off in full. All this about a credit card. What is it for you? I loved that one simple explanation. Of course, you need to finance a business. Of course, sometimes you pay for things on credit. Like, yes, you could find freedom. Honestly, if you face whatever it is, I made myself sick over that. Please find whatever it is that is holding you back, get it cleaned up. Shame is the worst, you guys. Shame keeps you hiding. It keeps you not taking action, and every action you take, I'm not saying anybody else has shame around anything, but for me, shame's like the worst feelings. It's at the bottom of the scale, right? So please let go of some things. In your business, what do you need to let go of? I know that I'm saying some of the same things again, but like, y'all have a story about tech. I'm terrible at tech. And for those of you that are over 50, my ladies that I love, and I'm over 60, and I got people over 70 here. It's a true story. Like, I'm not good at it, but it's not a story that's serving you well. It's not helping you to say that. You're not good at tech until you learn it. That's it. We're just all learning new skills. Nobody's good at whatever it is until they learn how to do it. Please fix that. It's keeping you from building your business. Saying that you're not good at sales, that is killing your business. We sell every single day, everything we do all day long. I just sold my granddaughter on Milet fixing her hair right before she went to school, right? We're selling every single day. You start reminding yourself all the ways that you sold all day long to anyone, right? Getting your dog outside. You sold your dog to go outside. Think of that. And then you're like, actually, I'm pretty good at sales. I'm pretty good at this. Okay. Thinking that you can't charge more is just an absolute lie. You decide how much you want to charge. You can charge anything you want for your coaching. The only person that decides if your price is right is you. I do. For those of you that are new here, I have a pricing process. I teach all that stuff. But ultimately, the end decision maker about pricing is you. You can charge anything you want. And if you go look around the world in coaching, people charge anything they want and they get paid anything they want. Believing that you need to become better at coaching first, the only way that you get better at coaching is by having real clients. Practice does not actually work, you guys. Yes, of course, you did some in the beginning, but when you're practicing on somebody, they know you're practicing with them. Getting clients and working through it with real people is actually how you get real results. Believing that it's not happening fast enough. Look, if it's not happening fast enough, focusing on that is not getting you there any faster. Be thinking about changing your mindset around that. Even a small shift, like it's happening exactly the way it should, right? You're going to have that, oh, no, it's not. But just try to work on a thought that will help you with that. In relationships, keeping score, right? Who did the dishes last night? Holding on to expectations. You should know better. Not communicating well, right? Thinking you told them something when you didn't. Grudges, a weak commitment. Oh my goodness. I see this a lot too, you guys. That doesn't happen to me. I happen to be very committed to my marriage, but there's a lot of people that aren't committed to relationships. Whatever relationship that is, like either you're in or you're out. So that doesn't help in a relationship either. This is all getting back to your word of the year. I promise it is. The third thing within yourself, I said poor sleeping habits because I needed that. Poor eating habits. Exercising, that is still my thing that I'm not great at. As soon as it started getting dark outside at 5:30, it was like, how am I going to find the time to walk? I would walk an hour every day. That's just an excuse. I have a treadmill right in the room next to me. Feeling or not setting boundaries. Not setting boundaries, burning yourself out, and then reliving things that you did wrong doesn't make anything right. Reliving the same thing over and over doesn't make them right. Is there some overall feeling that you're longing to have? Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's being fearless. Whatever that is there one feeling? That's what I was asking about earlier, like the one word that you think you're going to pick. What is the feeling that it generates for you? Because that's another key to picking the right word. Why do you think you're drawn to that word? And what would it change for you? I know for me that like the word release, when I was thinking about that, it was like, there's all kinds of things, expectations, doubt, uncertainty, limitations, like all the things that I could use with that word. Think about what could change for you if I didn't have limitations, expectations, doubt, ideas about what I was doing in all areas. What could that do for me? So that's how you want to think about your word. How could you change something specifically? Again, if my word is release, which I don't know if it is, what could that do for my health? If I release the idea that there wasn't time to walk every day and I made time to walk every day 365 days a year, what could that do for my health? Obviously improve it, right? For my wealth instead of my finances, for my wealth, relationships. Is there anything that you need to pick a word specifically for? Like something that you've been working on, trying to nail, to get over, get around, get past, that you're like, I'm going to let this one word be the thing that gets me to the finish line in 2026. Determined. I don't think determined's on the list. but determined would be a great one. Finish would be a great one. Start would be a good one for some of you guys. Here's some of the words. I told you I actually made this whole list myself. I was just thinking about words that I could use, and there were so many of them that I thought of. I also looked through words that clients had picked and told me about. Somebody just told me in the last call that I was on, their word was ignite. Somebody just told me their word was calibrate, luxury. These are all words that I just added from the last call that I was on. I was like, luxury. How does that apply to all areas of your life? But here's the deal. The word is only for you. It's only for you. Love. I know somebody who had love, and she literally is, I lead with love. I live with love. I love my body. I love every dollar that I have. I love everything. And I'm like, that's another interesting one that we don't necessarily think about. I want to give you a couple of interesting examples. I had a client who said her word was organize. I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, organize. That doesn't sound very inspiring, but I literally have got to get my house organized, like my closets. These were her words. I have to get my finances organized. And I'm like, that's the word for the whole year. And she's, yes, I'm going to live organized. And I said, why do you want that? This is a woman who is married. She had 2 college kids, two daughters who were in college. I said, what do you want? And she said, time with my friends. That was the driving factor. So again, that would not be what I would think of, but I thought, wow, so interesting. That's where she feels like she answered those questions. And what came up with her is, if I could be more organized, I could have more time. And with the time, I could be with my friends. Intentional. What would you do if your word was intentional? How would you intentionally use your time? This person said they were going to intentionally connect with their husband. Intentionally, not just sit down for dinner, but really decide every day, how am I going to connect with him? Intentionally disconnect from social media. She was already on social media. Intentionally maintain the marketing schedule that she had done. She designed the marketing schedule, but she was going to intentionally do it. Be intentional about spending, which, oh Lord, I think at least I could do that. Be more intentional with spending, especially this time of year. Being intentional about the family, the food that she prepared for her family. She just wanted to stop going through the motions of life. I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just moving through my life. Constraint. I also have had the word constraint, which again sounds like restrict. I've had to restrict, constraint. I've had words that sound like they're hard words, but this person was like, I got to quit consuming all the stuff. Like I live on YouTube. I have 25 books on my desk. It just causes confusion, which I agree. Too much information leaves you stuck. She wasn't keeping a schedule. She was just working all the time and getting nowhere, working all the time and not making any money. She was saying yes to far too many things. She was not paying attention to money. She was spending money on all kinds of courses and not doing anything in her business. And she was also offering anything that came up, like on a consultation call. Okay, yeah, you can have this. That's not how she wanted to build her business. So she wanted to have more time and the ability to focus more. What's your one word? Do you have one? Nobody else needs to get it, and you also don't need to share it, but I would love to hear it. Let's talk about living your word, what that looks like. And then I'm going to share with you what I just did right before we got on the call. What would it look like to live your word? Let's think about this word, and I would love for you to journal about it. Maybe the word that you thought you were going to pick might not be the word that you end up with. How's it going to guide you? I think sometimes we pick a word that sounds so fun, but how's it going to guide you? How is the one word going to change you? What do you hope that the one word is going to get you to do that you haven't done? This might play into your goals. I talked about goals and resolutions, people not meeting those. I think probably resolutions is more the thing that people don't keep. We're all a bunch of goal setters here and goal achievers here, but what's the outcome that you want from this one word? How are you going to stay focused on it? This is the key to success with this deal. I'm just telling you, this word literally needs to be on Post-it notes everywhere. This is the only way you're going to remember this, because I could meet you at the end of January, or actually I could meet you at the end of next week and you won't remember what the word is. Look, we're all busy. We get distracted. If you want this word to work, you have to write it down. You have to pay attention to it. You can set a phone reminder. You can do whatever you want to do. Write it on your mirror in the bathroom, whatever it is, it needs to be everywhere. If that's going to be like for me, if release is going to be my word, I have to be thinking about why I picked that word all the time to really help me have that word fuel everything that I want to create in 2026. So, what have you narrowed down to? I want to tell you about something that I just did this morning. And that is that I took my one word and first I asked ChatGPT, how could you help me optimize this and incorporate my word throughout the year? And I put down the list that I showed in the beginning, like within relationships, within spirituality, business, physical, wealth. I put those 5 categories down. Then I decided to take the list of goals that I had, what I hope to achieve in 2026, and just some of the things that I'm shooting for, who I want to become in 2026. I took all those notes. I just have a lot of notes. And I took that with the word and I said, paint a picture since you have my goals, my desires, some of the things I want to be able to do this year. I put all that in and I said, write me a story about what my year is going to be like. And it wrote a December 31st, 2026 story. Then I said, I don't want to wait till December. Take all that stuff and put it in month by month. So it made me a month by month, basically a letter to me about what had happened in my life by focusing on this one word and by combining it with the things that I wanted to achieve and some specific goals. I learned this from somebody else this year who said, put something into ChatGPT and it was like, ask it to tell you a story that's bigger than what you can see. Have it use its imagination instead of your imagination. I would encourage you guys to do that. So I'll see y'all later.